Groin injuries are some of the toughest to come back from. They are also one of the most common injuries for footballers. And if you are a footballer who is always complaining about tight hips, this is gonna be the video for you right here. A lot of times we think that we need to do more stretching. And if you checked out my top 7 hip opening exercises, you may have seen already good results. But if you really want to attack those tight hips, we actually need to strengthen them with the right exercises. And so for today's video, I'm going to be showing you my top 7 hip flexor and groin exercises to reduce your risk of injury, to rehab a groin injury or a hip flexor injury, and to just be playing loose, fluid, without any concerns, so you can play your best football yet. So without further ado, let's get straight to the video.
Yeah, top of the morning, I know that you thought I was dormant. Woke up early from shots that was swarming the block.
So let's talk about these sitting down hip flexor drives. This is an exercise that if you're not already doing, because I've already shown a couple of variations of these throughout my YouTube channel, then what are you doing? And let me show you why this is so good for footballers. We see a lot of times people are just training this aspect right here in the front, okay? And that's obviously good, right? You wanna be attacking the hip flexor through that range of motion in the front. But what about this extension part over here, right? That's the part that is missing a lot. You wanna control that eccentric, meaning the negative portion of the movement. You're gonna be feeling a stretch on that hip flexor. Make sure that band tension is high enough to where you do feel a stretch, and then you just drive it back up. So we go 1, 2, 3, feel the stretch, and then we shoot it straight up. We can also do it standing up, just going into this position and then driving it up. But I like sitting it down because I do feel more of that stretch over here. And this is gonna be that sprinting position that our body gets exposed to. And like I said, this is an trained position and area. So make sure that you are attacking this for the healthiest and strongest hip flexors if you want to sprint fast and you want to shoot with power. All right guys, up next, we're gonna go on to a hip flexor crunch. Check out these few key things. Make sure that you put some dumbbells just so it doesn't come back over here. And then we're gonna grab a nice and heavy dumbbell that's gonna support me as I go back into position. And this is gonna be big for really stretching out that hip flexor, and we're lengthening it and we're strengthening it, the best of both worlds. So check it out. Knee has to be up as high as you can. You can even put your hand up like this to really get more of that hip flexor stretch. You go as far back as you can go, and then you bring it back up, all right? So the further back that you go, the more that you're gonna get that hip flexor stretch. And if you already have some sort of pre-existing injury, that stretch on the way back may feel very good, but keeping in mind, you don't ever want to exceed a pain of more than a 3 out of 10 from a pain scale standpoint. Up next, we have the slider lateral lunge. Check this out. We're gonna grab a slider and put it on the surface where you're able to slide it. Also grab a band with some good tension. I have 2 bands tied over there. And what the band is gonna do as I go all the way down, so it's pulling it and I have to resist that pull. And as I bring it back in, now that hip and groin, although it was already working with just the slider alone, now it has to do, let's say, double the work, meaning more gains, and it's gonna target more of that adductor, that groin area, which is gonna be very important for this exercise right over here. And the deeper we go, the deeper that we're gonna be targeting that area. Take your time, find full control, and if this is too easy, you grab a dumbbell and you do it with load. All right guys, this is gonna be one of those awkward ones, but this one is gonna give you one of the best groin stretches that I have felt for any of the exercises that you're seeing right here. This was actually a key exercise that helped me overcome a groin injury about 3-4 years ago. If you haven't checked out my groin video guide, make sure that you check it out. That's one of my best videos. All right, so in this one right here, you can use a roller or you can use a slider as well. This one, it's gonna be a little bit tricky, okay? So not everyone will be able to do this one, all right? But if you do have access to a slider or a roller, you're gonna wanna, I like to start off like this one, and you are gonna feel a stretch because that band is pulling you in, feel that stretch. And as you bring it in, that's where that groin is really working. So remember, we want to stretch it to lengthen it, and then we're going to strengthen it in that lengthened position. And I'm telling you, this is going to be a tough one, and this one will leave you sore the very first couple of times. If you want to train like a professional footballer, check out my Ultimate Footballer plans. And if you want something more custom and specific to you, I offer custom plans. This is the plan that my pro footballers use. I've been privileged to work with some amazing professional footballers like you're seeing right here on the screen. If you want something more tailored to you to get you ready, whether it's off season, preseason, in season, guys, that's going to be the plan for you. All right, guys, now we're going to be working that hip flexor in this seated position, right? So the hip flexor is going to be flexed, right? So we're basically in this position right here, right? So the hip flexor is flexed. Now from here, I'm going to go into hip internal rotation. The band is pulling my foot away. We're working this groin area eccentrically, and I'm going to bring it in concentrically. Now that groin is going to be working a lot more. And you take it slow, guys. You take it slow. Some of y'all may really feel these like tighter areas, and if something feels good, like the stretch feels good, right, take it slower, do more reps, do whatever is needed so it feels good and you are strengthening it, right? People may look at this and be like, dude, that's external rotation, but it's actually internal rotation, because we have to look at the, again, we're referencing the hip right here. So if I'm like this and I bring my leg inside like this, so my toe is pointing inside, my hip just turn, right? Like my quad is facing this way over here, right? That's internal rotation, yes? And if I bring it over here, although my leg is on the outside, my hip is in internal rotation. If I bring it like this, now my hip is in external rotation. So just something to keep in mind. All right, guys, I want to ask you, what position does this look like to you? It's pretty obvious. We're going on to a volley, so we're opening up the hip. So really just imagine like someone throws you a ball and you're going into a volley. As you go back and it stretches you out over here eccentrically, right? Let it pull you as far back as it can, and then we just drive it up. Hold that position. I always like to pause here at the top, right? So we're exposing the groin, the hip to multiple positions so it can really just target that groin area. Again, the groin area can be a very tough injury to come back from, and targeting it in many ways is going to be very, very good. So this is an exercise you have seen so many times by now. You should already know what this is right here. I'm going to quickly go over the multiple variations, because we've done concentric exercises. We've done exercises that emphasize the eccentric. Now let's do something that's going to be more isometric, so we're holding that position, right? So doing a variety of things is going to be important. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you how you can apply these exercises onto your own training program to get the best out of it, because I know it can be overwhelming whenever you have 7 exercises that target the same muscle. So let's go over the Copenhagen real quick. So obviously in the knee, this is going to be the least intense one. If you want to make it more intense, you bring your leg like this, right? So now the calf is on there. And then to progress this, we can even go more dynamic. So we bring it up all the way, drop the hip, and then we go like this, right? So boom, boom. To make that one even tougher, now we go long lever, and same thing, we drop the hip, and actually, I'm gonna be over here. We drop the hip, boom, and boom. And now you're really working that groin area. So again, staple exercise that every footballer should know. So now let's talk about how to implement this into your training program. You want something more custom and specific to you, I offer custom plans. This is the plan that my pro footballers use. I've been privileged to work with some amazing professional footballers like you're seeing right here on the screen. If you want something more tailored to you to get you ready, whether it's off season, preseason, in season, guys, that's going to be the plan for you. Okay, so let's go over how to apply this. I am going to use my 1 and 2 rule. So go ahead and choose 1 to 2 of the exercises that you just saw, and do them 1 to 2 times a week for the prescribed sets and reps that you saw on the screen. Something to keep in mind, because we are lengthening that groin, that hip flexor through a lot of these exercises, it's gonna leave you very, very sore. So I would even probably start off with just 1 exercise and even drop the volume, cut out the volume that you see throughout the recommendations, especially if you're someone who doesn't really train this, because I'm telling you, the next day, the next couple of days, you are gonna leave that area very, very sore. And as a footballer, you wanna avoid that because you have so many training sessions. You probably have to sprint, do all these things. And for example, let's say that you choose 2 to 3 exercises and you don't follow the recommendations I just gave you. And the next day you do a sprint session. Your hip flexor is gonna be overly sore. So keep it in mind, you damage the hip flexor whenever you are training it, right? Because that's the way that it's gonna get better. But if you go sprint, you're probably gonna strain yourself. So things that you need to keep in mind, be more conservative. If you want something more custom to you, this is my email right here. Go ahead and send me an email and I'll get back to you. Thank you guys so much for watching. stay tuned and check out the other content I have on my channel that I know you're gonna enjoy, and I'll see you guys on the next one.